Buddha sat beneath the sprawling Bodhi tree, his serenity casting an aura of peace over the gathered disciples. The morning air carried the scent of blooming lotus flowers, their fragrance mingling with the whispers of the wind. A merchant approached Buddha, his eyes filled with the weight of unspoken worries. Bowing deeply, the merchant began, his voice trembling with hesitation. "Great teacher, I seek your wisdom to untangle the knots that bind my restless soul," the merchant said. Buddha gazed at him with compassionate eyes, his presence radiating understanding. The Buddha listened attentively, his eyes reflecting boundless understanding and patience. "Ananda," the Buddha began, his voice gentle and steady, "fear is a shadow that obscures the clarity of your mind. I fear the world moves forward while I remain stagnant, unable to embrace tools of knowledge and innovation," the merchant confessed. Buddha remained silent for a moment, his gaze steady, his thoughts profound. The currents of the river flow relentlessly, never waiting for the stone that resists change, Buddha said wisely. The disciples listened intently, their minds absorbing the teachings that unfolded with each word. "Courage is not the absence of fear but the triumph over it," the Buddha explained, his tone infused with compassion. Ananda looked down, the weight of his fear evident in his downcast eyes and clenched fists. The Buddha reached out, placing a reassuring hand on Ananda's shoulder. "The road, like life, is impermanent," the Buddha said, each moment an opportunity to embrace impermanence and overcome hesitation. A disciple raised his hand hesitantly, seeking clarity in the teachings shared by the Enlightened One. "Master, does this mean we must forsake tools and progress to find peace within ourselves?" The disciple asked softly. "The road demands focus, trust, and awareness," he added, "qualities that guide us not only on our journeys but in life." The Buddha's teachings illuminated Ananda's mind, planting seeds of courage and understanding within his heart. Tools are not crutches, but extensions of wisdom when wielded with mindfulness and purpose, Buddha added with clarity. The merchant nodded, his mind a canvas upon which Buddha's teachings painted vibrant strokes of understanding. The disciples nodded, recognizing the wisdom in the Buddha's words and reflecting on their own challenges and fears. To drive is to live in the present, to act with clarity and intention. Moment by moment, the Buddha elaborated. Ananda's face softened as he absorbed the Buddha's teachings, his grip on fear loosening with each word. "Fear," the Buddha said, "is but an illusion born from attachment to outcomes and aversion to uncertainty." The disciples exchanged glances, the profundity of the teaching sinking into their consciousness. "Let the road teach you," the Buddha continued, "for it mirrors the path of life with its twists and turns." The sun's rays filtered through the tree's branches, casting patterns of light and shadow on the gathered disciples. "To navigate the road is to navigate the mind," the Buddha said, balancing control and surrender with every decision. Ananda raised his head, his eyes meeting the Buddha's gaze, filled with a newfound determination. "Master," Ananda said, "I will strive to confront my fear and embrace the journey with mindfulness and courage." The morning breeze carried whispers of the river nearby, its gentle murmurs harmonizing with the rustle of leaves above. Buddha sat with serene composure, his gaze resting upon the flowing waters in the distance. A villager approached, carrying with him a deep sorrow etched into his features. Bowing deeply, the villager spoke, his voice trembling with desperation. "Great teacher, I come burdened by confusion and despair. The river that once sustained us seems forgotten by many." "Ananda," the Buddha said, "your willingness to face fear is the first step toward liberation and self-discovery." The Buddha's presence exuded a comforting stillness, his teachings a source of clarity amidst the uncertainty of life's journey. The villager began to recount the tale of his village, once thriving by the side of a great stream. Our ancestors taught us to cherish the river. The source of life and wisdom, the villager explained solemnly. Yet now, the wells we have dug seem more alluring. And the stream is neglected, he continued. Buddha remained silent, allowing the weight of the villager's words to settle among the gathered disciples. He then gestured towards the stream, its waters glistening in the sunlight. Undeterred by the changes around it, the stream flows ceaselessly, whether it is remembered or forgotten. For its nature is to sustain and connect, Buddha said. The disciples listened intently, their minds attuned to the depth of the lesson unfolding. Once there was a village built near a stream, whose waters nurtured its people and fed their spirits, Buddha began. Over time, the villagers grew complacent, choosing wells over the stream, believing them to be more convenient, he narrated. The villager nodded, recognizing the resemblance to his own village's plight. They forgot that without the stream, the wells would run dry. For all waters trace their roots to the source, Buddha explained. A disciple raised his hand, seeking guidance on the relevance of the parable in their modern lives. The wind carried the echoes of the Buddha's words, spreading them like seeds to inspire courage and mindfulness. Ananda walked away with a lighter heart, the road ahead no longer a source of fear but an opportunity for learning. The past is the foundation upon which the present stands. To sever it is to weaken the entire structure, Buddha said. The stream symbolizes connection, a reminder that progress must not come at the expense of forgetting our roots, Buddha added. Another disciple pondered aloud, his thoughts bridging the parable to their current era of digital transformation. Master, is the internet not like the stream, connecting and sustaining the flow of knowledge in our age? He inquired. Buddha nodded, his expression thoughtful as he addressed the insightful question. The internet, like the stream, carries immense potential to connect, sustain, and enlighten, yet its flow must be understood, Buddha said. Drink from its waters, but do not let its currents sweep you into forgetfulness of your own standing, Buddha advised. The disciples reflected upon his words, their hearts resonating with the timeless wisdom. The villager, moved by the teachings, bowed deeply before Buddha, his despair replaced by a newfound clarity. The truth is, fearing to drive means losing your freedom, the Buddha proclaimed, his words cutting through the silent morning. The disciples exchanged puzzled glances, their expressions a mixture of curiosity and bewilderment at the master's bold statement. Drive safely, the Buddha continued, but drive outrageously, with a heart unshaken by fear and a mind anchored in mindfulness. Ananda, his brow furrowed in confusion, asked hesitantly, Master, what does it mean to drive outrageously? Is it not contrary to the path of mindfulness? The Buddha smiled, his gaze warm and reassuring, as he replied, to drive outrageously is to drive with fearless determination and unwavering awareness. The disciples listened intently as the Buddha explained. Outrageous driving is not recklessness but the expression of boundless courage and profound mindfulness on the journey. His words resonated deeply, challenging the disciples to reflect on their own understanding of courage and mindfulness. The golden hues of dusk settled upon the landscape, illuminating the serene presence of the enlightened one. A scholar arrived, carrying a device glowing faintly in his hands, his expression marked by unease and frustration. Bowing deeply, the scholar addressed Buddha with a voice heavy with contemplation. Great teacher, I find myself ensnared by the device that promises knowledge yet steals clarity. Ananda, inspired yet apprehensive, sought clarification. Master, how can one balance outrageousness with the responsibility of safety on such treacherous roads? The Buddha's smile widened as he replied, Safety arises not from caution alone but from the harmony of courage and mindfulness. His words carried a profound simplicity that resonated with the disciples. illuminating their understanding of the path. The scholar hesitated, then began recounting his struggles with the endless information flooding his mind through the digital tool. This device contains the wisdom of ages. Yet it consumes my focus, leaving me feeling more ignorant with each passing day, the scholar explained. Outrageousness, the Buddha continued, is the willingness to transcend fear, to celebrate the gift of motion, and to trust in one's inner strength. The sacred Bodhi tree seemed to bow in reverence as the Buddha's words flowed like a river of wisdom. This lotus flourishes in still waters, untethered by the chaos that surrounds it, Buddha said thoughtfully. The disciples watched intently, their curiosity piqued by the symbol of the lotus presented by the teacher. To drive, the Buddha said, is to engage with life's impermanence, to be fully present, and to trust the unfolding path. Ananda's heart swelled with inspiration, his fear gradually dissolving in the light of the Master's words. A disciple interjected, seeking clarity amidst the profound teachings shared by Buddha. Master, how can we achieve the clarity of the lotus in an age of digital inundation? The disciple asked humbly. Each twist and turn on the road, the Buddha said, is an opportunity to practice mindfulness, patience, and trust. The disciples nodded, their hearts opening to the wisdom of the Master's words and the possibilities of their own journeys. The tools of this age, be they quills or circuits, must be wielded wisely, lest they wield control over you, Buddha continued. The scholar nodded, his unease shifting toward a determination to reclaim his sense of self. The disciples felt a wave of clarity wash over them as the Buddha's teachings illuminated their understanding of courage and freedom. Fear, the Buddha said, is but a shadow cast by the mind's attachment to outcomes beyond its control. The lotus grows rooted firmly in its essence, its petals opening to the sun while untouched by the surrounding mud, Buddha said. Find your essence, ground yourself in purpose, and allow wisdom to guide the tools you choose to embrace, Buddha concluded. The disciples listened intently, their minds attuned to the Master's teachings and their hearts filled with determination. The truth, the Buddha said, is that courage and mindfulness are the twin wings that carry us to freedom. The disciples reflected upon the teachings, their hearts resonating with the timeless truths shared beneath the Bodhi tree. The fading light of day gave way to the gentle glow of twilight, casting an ethereal serenity over the gathering. To drive outrageously, the Buddha said, is to honor the journey, to celebrate the present, and to trust in the unfolding path. The gathering under the Bodhi tree dispersed, the disciples carrying the Buddha's teachings within their hearts like precious jewels. Ananda, his fear transformed into a sense of purpose, bowed deeply before the Buddha, a gesture of gratitude and reverence. The Buddha's serene presence lingered, a reminder of the timeless truths that guided the path of self-discovery. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.